大家好，歡迎嚟。I rarely do that。我再嚟講啊。
再嚟個預備，5、4、3。
大家好，歡迎嚟到新一集嘅相聚。喺今日咧，我哋嘅特別嘉賓係遠自呢個 Los Angeles， Los Angeles 又講錯咗我。
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Very club. Los Angeles. Full
OK， 再嚟講。我竟然食螺絲嘅。
我哋預備，5、4、3、2。
大家好，歡迎嚟到新一集嘅相聚。喺今日咧，我嘅特別嘉賓咧係嚟自 Las Vegas 嘅 Tony Mostajir， 就係呢個莫斯達治先生嘅，因為佢個名咧係非常之難 pronounce 嘅。OK，Why don't you do that？ Mostajir。
She speak Mandarin. You say that.
Dr Tony Mostajir.
Mostajir.
Mostajir 最呢個胡鬚係 Mostajir。
莫斯达治。
莫斯達治。咁我哋今集咧係會用咧英文嚟去做嘅咁樣。So today we're going to deliver our interview in English. So welcome to Hong Kong.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
We laugh so hard and we almost can't stop laughing.
I'm honored to be here.
We're so happy to have you here. So Santa, why don't you introduce Tony to our audience?
Okay, so the story begins last year. One of my very close friends, her name is Ivy, she just sent a WhatsApp to me. Santa, I have a good idea. I said, what's that? She said, Santa, I want to introduce a very interesting teacher to you. I said, fine. So we have the meeting. I remember that was last year in the early December. So I went to see this Mr. Tony. So that was very fun because through introduction from Ivy, and then I have a Tony, and then we have a breakfast tea. And
Ivy, Tony, and breakfast tea.
Yes, Ivy, me, Tony, breakfast tea. So we have a very pleasant morning in Hong Kong. And I just have a very deep feeling of a deep insight that, this Tony, this Dr. Tony, he is really something special, because with a very high energy and always smiling, always a lot of love and laughter. So give me a very profound impression. Yes, that was the first encounterment with me and Tony last year.
So we just finished the Hong Kong Make a Change this Sunday,
yes.
Which is like 2 days ago.
Yes.
And then in your section, you did the meditation for us?
Yes.
Do you still remember?
Yes.
The falling.
Yes.
It was so profound. I've been meditating for like over 20 years. I mean, of course I should not compare, but it was really something else. And everybody closed their eyes, and I was open my eyes because I need to know whether I'm needed and anything happened. So, and it was, my goodness, it was amazing. And then I looked at the other people, especially the people, those VIP in the first row, and someone's like, it's like that. You know that? You notice that?
Yes.
And I'm not going to name names.
One thing is that a lot of people that misunderstanding about meditation, they have an image of meditation, and they think because that image in their mind, it shows the meditation, they think only meditation means that. For example, if I tell you somebody is meditating, the first thing comes in your mind that somebody is sitting somewhere and closed eyes and quietly and sitting, and that you consider as a meditation, because most of the people, when you talk to them, that's the image they have in their mind.
Yeah.
But in reality, meditation is a life itself, is awareness. So you can walk and meditate, you can eat and meditate, you can talk and meditate, you can kiss someone with passion and meditate, you can be with someone and meditate. As a matter of fact, those moments that you are completely present, maybe you enjoy a food, but not to just feel yourself, but appreciate the taste in the complete manner. You are meditating. You are there. You are in here and now. You don't think when you are enjoying something like a nice chocolate in your mouth and you go, oh, 2 years ago something happened. You don't think about it. You just enjoy the chocolate, or you're not worried about tomorrow what's going to happen. That moment that you're tasting that chocolate, you are meditating. You're in the meditation mode. Now, when we expand this one, that meditation that I did it on 11/11 in Hong Kong, it was a meditation actually. When I was meditating, I wanted it to make another meditation to bring those who are meditating more in action, to make them, to throw them inside of themselves. And that meditation, because it's a fall, each meditator, they fall into themselves for the first time. That's why when you fall into yourself, suddenly all those emotions that they were hidden in you, suddenly it changes. And first of all, you feel you completely become empty out of what is your mind and your ideas telling you you are. You become idealist towards that. And the second of all, when you come completely out of your ideas, you come empty out of yourself. Now, there is a new spark that in that emptiness of having any idea, suddenly your truth will shine. And this is the very, very different kind of meditation than
Yes,
others.
very, very different.
Yes.
I never experienced anything like this. Keep falling and then accelerating. And even with my eyes open, I was like, when am I going to stop? Why do we keep falling? I need to stop. I want to stop. Where are we going? Where am I going? It was so... I don't even know what words I can use. I can only say it's so profound. And at the very end, we become everything.
Yes. In the very end, actually, before you become everything, you reach the nothingness, and in that nothingness is a freedom. From the moment we come to the body, to the last breath that we exhale, we are looking for one thing, and that's freedom. Freedom of the limitation of the mind. And as we go through life, we're seeking. We go to school to learn more so we get more freedom. We get a job to have more money to make it freedom. And we go on and on and on. But ultimately, that freedom that we want, we gain in the end. But there is a saying, as you may have heard, they said there's a very profound saying that they say you should die before your death. It means
I should die before my death.
Yeah, that is a very profound thing.
This is very Chinese stuff.
Yes.
Like
it's not Chinese. It's
I know
a
it's not
conscious.
Chinese. Yes, it's universal.
Yes, it's a very conscious thing. It means not the death of just the physical death. It's a death of letting go of the ideas and limitation of the mind. And when you let go of the death and limitations of the mind, when the limitations are disappearing, now what is left is the truth. Is the truth within you, which has more power than anything else. And that brings the ultimate gift of freedom within yourself.
How do you know all this stuff? How do you know all this deep stuff?
There is a Google,
Where
actually,
do
there's a site on Google you can research and that it gives you called Love Me. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, we have a Google, we have a connection. Each one of us, we have a connection inside that when we get connected. For many years I studied, I went to medical school, I got my degrees and everything, and I studied on the side. I born in the Sufi master family, so I was growing up with the ideas of spirituality. And my father also was a professor of philosophy. So I was having the both joy of the both between philosophy and spirituality. And on top of it, I started doing my own search of the truth. Now, one thing that I really love I never stopped to make a certain idea it. If I study about the religion, I didn't make that religion it. If I start studying about certain spirituality, I didn't make it it. When you make something it stops your growth of reaching to the higher consciousness. And when you're letting go of it, when you're letting go of all these things, and then suddenly you learn how to let go of your own ideas. Because what we believe is also limitations. And when you're letting go of everything, suddenly you are able to let go of your belief. Maybe I think something that other person doesn't agree with me. But now I have a chance to say, let me see his perspective of the same situation. Now my eyes is looking at the same situation through his eyes, through his understanding. And now I expand. Now instead of having 2 eyes, I have 4. Now when I'm expanding like that, when I'm not holding to something that I am expanding, suddenly I have 7.2 billion eyes, that many people that are on there. And that is going to be my vision towards understanding.
You really got me. I have to look at my own interview and then listen to that again.
Actually, me too. I don't know what I'm talking about, but
that makes me feel a lot better. But I know you've gone through a lot, like in the war,
yes,
when you were a kid, and then you also went through the medical school, and then you were a doctor. You must have seen a lot of death, right? But how come you're so happy and delightful and fun-loving?
There's a saying, I like this one. They said, 2 things change the man.
Yeah.
1,
woman. Wine. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We can add those to that one actually. But they said 2 things that change the man. 1 is when the man goes to the war, and the other one is when man fall in love.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Makes sense.
I am thankful that it's in my life that I experienced both. Seeing unpleasant things, seeing horrible things. Of course, it's not good. It's not interesting to see someone get hurt, especially when it's come to the war, and then you see so many people, unfortunately, for the nonsense reasons. Doesn't matter what war it is. Every war is a mistake.
Yes.
When the people, especially the young or anyone, dies in the war, is a loss. Humanity should reach to the certain understanding that we shouldn't kill each other for our differences.
Yeah.
And when we have that understanding individually, when I practice to not hold on towards my belief so much that I reject other people's belief, and not just that I want to force my belief to others that I am right and they are wrong. And worse than that is I kill others just because I believe in something. This is what is happening in our world actually, that people, because they are not able to take over their own, control their own understanding, to control their own mind. Now they grab something as a belief and they push it, all the way to the point of destruction of each other and the places that they are living.
But you haven't answered my questions. You went through that much, and then how can you be so happy and the way you are today?
Yes, I answered actually. But
you did?
Yes, but I'm gonna elaborate the answer. So it's the individual. So some people, they go to the war, they see a certain scenery that is not a pleasant scenery. When they come back, then they have these problems. They cannot sleep at night. They have these post-traumatic things.
Yeah.
And
side effects.
Yeah, they have, and they go through their whole life. They are like they are angry. They are doing. But this could, I worked actually with so many people. They went to the war and they seen this thing, and I worked with them and I talked to them. The moment they become aware that who they are,
Yeah.
as an individual, that they are the ultimate, and they get connected to their inner creator. Now, nothing, it can be disturbing them, because there is more in there to we have more fun. So every experience, it becomes an experience, and you let it go, and you learn from it, and you rise from it. You learn from it, and you rise from it. As far as the
But didn't that thing, war, upset you? When you actually see it, saw it yourself.
Yes, let me give you an example. If Buddha was here right now, do you think Buddha get upset if they tell Buddha there's a war? First of all, Buddha doesn't choose a side.
Yeah.
That's Buddha. The Buddha doesn't choose a side of war. But war doesn't upset Buddha. Buddha is an observer. Observer of what it is. If you want the world peace, like all these spiritualities and all this nonsense going on sometimes in the world, that everybody, they are saying world peace, find the word peace in yourself first. Find the peace in yourself before you talk about it. Because when you find the word peace, I guarantee you, you see the world that you are living is going to be in the peace. The reason that you are not able to see the peace is because you don't have the peace. And I will tell you the story of my war. How did I survive? I was the only one who survived from my platoon. It was because of the same reason. I can explain it to you. So we have enough time to go? 4 minutes.
Just go ahead.
Okay.
It's a very profound story.
So let's, first of all, I didn't choose to go to war. It wasn't my choice. It was because in the country I grew up, when you are in a certain age, you have to go and serve in the military. So I had to go serve in the military. It wasn't my choice of going to war and being against other people. So I was a medic in the military. And at one night by those years there was no night visions. You know what night vision is, right? So it was a very dark night, and when we were supposed to attack the opposite group, the enemy as what they call it, I don't have any enemy, I don't see any enemy, all there is a friend. So as we were going, there was a hill in there, and in front of the hill was a minefield, and we had to go on the side to go above the hill, and suddenly by mistake one person went over the minefield, and in that moment that this person went over the minefield, when there is a dark night, when somebody put their foot on top of the minefield, this mine explodes, and usually the leg comes out, and then there's another interesting scenery, but the light, it projects to the sky, like it goes like almost like 20, 30 feet. You see this light is suddenly brightens everything. And then in that moment, when something like that, the explosion is happening like that, suddenly everybody, they lose the direction and they try to go hide. As they lost the direction of which direction they had to go, suddenly you were seeing one after another, they end up in the minefield, and the minefield was exploring.
Oof.
Now, in the same time, that opposite military, they were looking at us, and then they noticed that we are coming, so they start to shooting with the heavy artillery. They were shooting us. And beside the minefield now is going on, one after another, the people suddenly they start getting hit, because when they are on top of the hill and we are on the bottom, it's make it very easy target to hit the people.
Yeah.
Now while I told my friend, let's go at least towards closer to the hill. It was the huge rock in there. So I said we can go and we can go on behind that rock, so we get at least protect ourselves from the bullets that they were flying over us. So I went there, we went with my friend over there. Suddenly my commander is asking me for help. I notice he's on the ground. I grab him and I said, let me help you. And I noticed his kidneys was in my hand.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Oh.
This is a little bit more too graphic.
I'm glad that I have early lunch.
Yes. So anyway, after that I left him. He died actually. And then I went back to see my friend again, and I noticed my friend got shot in the head and he died over there. And suddenly I'm trying to go up, and something hits my knee. It's like a bee sting on my left knee. And then a friend asking for help. I'm going there, and I'm trying to, I notice he has a wound, shot on his abdomen. I'm putting the pad on his wound to stop his bleeding. And I noticed there's something on my knees bothering me, and I'm looking, and I noticed my kneecap is hanging. I got shot on the kneecap. So I kept my kneecap, I tied up, and I came back.
You could still walk?
Yes, I mean, when in this situation, your adrenaline in your body is too much,
yes,
that you don't feel the pain. You just, your body is so tense that then. So I came down. That gentleman, the friend of mine that I was trying to help him, he passed away because it was a severe wound shot. So I came down. I went back behind that same rock. We started at 4:30 in the morning, and now it was close to 5:30. It was a summer day, and the sun was coming up. Now, between all those people, you still could hear a few people that were still shooting, but a lot of bodies that were on the field. I sit down, and while I tied my knees and behind that rock, I put my dog tag. You know what dog tag is? The number that militaries have.
Yes.
I put it in my mouth, and I said in case if I died, so because they were burying the body very fast because it was smelling. So later on, if they were seeing the bodies, they could tell that my parents that their son has died or something. So as I'm sitting and I'm looking at this beautiful scenery in the desert in the morning, it's such a beautiful scenery. When the sun comes, it's absolutely a phenomenon. A humongous sun is coming, and it's like kissing the desert, little by little. As I'm looking, now the opposite of the military, that the enemy or the opposite military, they could see there was people who were shot or wounded. And it was easier for them to just shoot the last bullet to them. And you could hear the bullets that were coming to the body, and then the body cavity, when something enters, is like sucked in, something like that.
Yeah.
And you see there's another person's losing their life. I'm sitting like this, and I'm looking at the sun. And I'm seeing like there is nobody is alive anymore, and soon these people...
Everybody died?
Yes. And soon these people, they're gonna come down, and probably I'm gonna be either the war prisoner or I'm gonna die. And as I'm sitting, I'm looking, and I'm seeing, and I'm asking myself, I want joy. I want to see the peace before I die. I don't want to die right now. I just want to see a peaceful situation. I like to wake up in one city in the morning that is nothing, and then I go and I do grocery, and I see, or at night I see this city with so many lights. I don't want to die right now. I don't feel like dying at this moment. And I'm looking, and I close my eyes, and then such a peace came over me. And instead of keeping my dog tag in my name, I took my dog tag and I threw it. If I'm supposed to die, let it be. It's okay.
Why did you throw it away?
Because I was thinking it's not important anymore. It's not important to if I die or not. If I die, it's not important if somebody knows I'm dead or not. Now, a tremendous peace appears. Suddenly I see two little birds in the field. A male bird, it was trying to impress the female bird. And have you ever noticed how they do that? They go
in such situation.
Yeah, this is amazing. They go and with the wings,
yes.
they play with the dirt.
Yes.
And I see this little bird flying over the minefield, and no mine is exploding in this field. And such a tremendous peace came that, walk. If this little bird can go over the minefield, walk. I stood up. I didn't walk like a soldier. I just took my weapons. I used it as a cane, and I started walking. And I didn't even look at the ground to see if there is a mine or not. I just look at the sunset. I said, if this is the last minute of my life, I want to enjoy it to the max. I want to feel life. I want to be in life. If this is the last minute, so it's better I enjoy it. It's like, if this is the last drop of the water you want to drink, make sure you enjoy it before it finishes. I don't care what's my next step is gonna be, but I want to enjoy this step. One step, another, one step. I walked over half a kilometer over the minefield until somebody told me stop. And when I told them that who I was, they told me I have to wait until we say okay, and then you can come to the foxhole. Now, sometimes in life, when you're walking, you feel somebody is looking from behind, and you turn and you see they're looking at you. That day when I was walking, I could feel some snipers looking at me, and he is thinking how far this guy is gonna go before one of this thing explodes. It was like he's playing the game. Let me see how far this is there. And you know what? I walked. I walk with trust. I didn't care what's gonna happen the next step. I choose to build, to make one step, to enjoy one step at a time until I reach there. So finally, the soldier that told me stop, he told me, okay, you can come in. And interestingly, that the sniper shot the guy, he didn't shoot me. I entered and then they told me, you walk over the minefield. And I look, and that's the time my tears was coming down, because for the second time actually in my life, the first time was another story, for the second time in my life, I could be so empty of who I was. And in that moment of my emptiness, the peace was all over, even though there were dead bodies everywhere. But inside of me, the peace was there. And that peace brought me to here. So I can tell you about my memories of the war. So that's what I'm saying. When a person reaches that emptiness within themselves, when there is nothing to grab, because Buddha, it doesn't come with the idea that in the morning, because my goal is to do this. Buddha doesn't have a goal. Jesus doesn't have a goal. Jesus doesn't care about the word peace as what we think. There is no goal. It's not a practice of becoming, is realization of being. In that realization of being is a perfect scenario.
I'm speechless. I always wanted to ask you about this story, but I really have nothing to say. Do you have anything to say? So 我希望大家聽得明啦嚇，咁阿 Tony 咧就講佢喺呢個戰場嘅時候點樣去逃過嗰啲叫咩地雷啊嚇咁樣，咁我唔翻譯一大餐啦，大家聽翻轉頭啦咁樣，咁就我哋呢一節就完啦，我哋陣轉頭翻嚟再同阿 Tony 再傾偈，陣見。